So there is another belt in the hands of a Cats member, and we're going to talk to them next week on the Vox Cascadia podcast. But with me, I have Connor and Tyler, and I think we all have post-event hangovers. Tyler, how's your post-event hangover doing?
I'm, hair of the dog, my friend, hair of the dog. So
Is that more games to kill team then?
yeah, absolutely. I'm jamming it out with the hobby. So trying to get new kit bashes done since first thing this morning.
Yeah, you got you picked up the termination box. I picked it up too. I looked at the instructions a little bit. Did you notice that the instructions seem like the most concise and smart instructions in a GW box yet?
I don't ever look at the instructions.
So there's a pamphlet in there. It actually tells you how to like assemble the models. But if you do go in there and look at it, you probably just threw it away already. It actually lays out all of the weapons that you can use for each of the teams on like a single page. Tells you exactly what the weapons are. It's pretty nice.
That's really cool. That seems very thoughtful.
Well, our boys at Games Workshop are nothing but thoughtful. It's a really nice quality of life upgrade. Connor, how's your post tourney hangover going? I know I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning and couldn't get back to sleep, and you had quite the journey from the Salem Kaiser area back to Bremerton.
Yes, it has been a day, let me tell you. Thankfully, Jeff is wonderful and was able to come back into Shiv despite being sick to help me grab something I forgot there last night. And then what should have been a 3-hour drive turned into about a 6.5, 7-hour drive.
I told you that you can't hide your drugs at the tournament. You've got to like find a better place for it.
Yeah, so what I've done now is I've ordered a backpack that comes with a little, essentially like ice pack slot, so that way this never happens again.
And just to clarify, your drugs are insulin, not
Yes,
actual
yes,
drugs.
nothing illegal. This is life-saving drugs that I brought just in case. It's like anytime I'm going somewhere all day, I always want to have at least like a backup of insulin just in case worst disaster. But in this case, the worst disaster was me being forgetful as hell.
Tyler, where do you hide your drugs when you go to a tournament?
I mean, in the usual place, headband, waistband, sock, stuff like that.
You have to start patting you guys down before you come in.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, like, are drugs even illegal in Oregon? So,
I think it depends on where you're at in Oregon, but I think they're actually like re-illegalizing them.
that whole thing's been a mess. Good idea, poorly executed.
Yeah, the Portugal model did not work out over here.
Yeah, no, you actually have to treat people for mental health issues and addiction if you want to do that.
That's just crazy talk.
That sounds like a bunch of communism right there.
I think it's socialism, actually.
I'm just repeating what I hear on the news, Chuck, and as we all know, the news would never lie to me.
Well, stop watching Fox News, please. It's actually before you got here, Tyler and I were talking about family members watching Fox News, so you can shut that off too. Real quick before we get to our tournament, I just want to touch on a couple other tournaments that were in the area, and they weren't this weekend, but previously we had a couple other kind of independent tournaments like Kill Team Cascadia, Maker Mayhem up in Bellingham, run by Sean. I think it was like close, like 14 to 20 player tournament that they put on up there. ABC Sean in our Discord, who was at this tournament last week, and then we also had in Memorial Day weekend, we had a compendium tournament in the Portland area. So I'm super excited to see that other people are branching out and running events too.
Doesn't like Discordia Game also have their monthly tournament coming up, or was it yesterday also?
It was yesterday. Unfortunately, I think it was canceled just due to a lack of players. But overall, I know they've had a couple of successful ones the past. I think this one just was an unfortunate weekend for them.
Well, I know that also the Games Workshop out in the Beaverton Hillsborough area in Portland had a tournament this weekend too. I'm curious to see what their turnout was, because that would have been one that I would have actually gone to if I wasn't, watching you guys play.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't even know that was going on, honestly. So
Yeah, I don't know how much they push it out there. I know that the Games Workshop stores have Facebook pages, but I don't use Facebook, so I don't see it. So maybe we should talk to them about having them throw it up in our Discord, because more kill teams, more kill team.
yeah, I mean, Ian's awesome. So he's a super cool guy. Always great to talk to.
I'm just excited to see though that there's more tournaments going on and we don't have to run them. Other people can run them and we can go play in them.
Absolutely. You should still come to our tournaments because they're big and flashy, but you should also support small other tournaments that aren't as big and flashy as ours.
I was actually kind of bummed that I couldn't make the compendium one because I wanted to be that guy and bring talons, but I had to work that day, unfortunately.
You would be that guy to bring talents. Personally, I'd go a totally fair and balanced team. 5 AP2 sources on Compendium Imperial Guard.
Well, we're going to get to Imperial Guard, Vet Guard, in fact, later on with our tournament recap. And so let's talk about, well, we can get to it right now, actually. Let's talk about our tournament. So Tyler and Connor, you both played. I was there to help facilitate, side facilitate. Connor or Tyler still just kind of like, you're the main man. I'll let you run the show.
You know, you're still getting the swing of things. So trying to help out where I can, where my skills are useful. You know,
I feel like I'm doing a lot better on like the time call outs and actually like the like projecting my voice. That's something I've been working on, and I feel like it's been a lot better.
I agree. You're getting like more the hang of it. Just kind of like getting the shouts out. You know, calling on when stuff needs to happen and keeping everything flowing. I think.
Yeah, and so spoiler alert, winner of the tournament was Josh Stroll, who won again, who won actually brought Vet Guard this time. So now Josh has 2 belts. Connor has 1, and Tyler is 0 for 1 in the belt events.
Yeah, absolutely. At least I lost to Josh though. So
That's how I look at it too. Like if you lose to the winner, it's like, well, yeah, he had to go through me.
exactly. I mean that's how it was.
So let's I don't want to like go turn by turn, but let's just like quick recap of your games, Tyler, and then we can have Connor talk about his games a little bit. Actually, let's just go Tyler, will your first round, and then we'll go Connor's first round loss. So Tyler, you can go first.
Yeah, I played Chris Dunshee first round with his Warp Coven. It was a really good game. I ended up coming out as the victor. I think it's just kind of an imbalanced match with Nemesis Claw kind of taking it most of the time. On Into the Dark, I was just able to kind of move up and then just get in and make those kills pretty quickly. And with only 6 elites on his team, also mine are just a little bit more deadly than his.
Yeah, I was watching that game a little bit, and I noticed it got over pretty quick. The good thing is though, Chris's backpack stayed with him because Chris is also the one who had his backpack stolen at the Blunt Force beatdown, and he was still gripping it pretty tightly. But he said I actually talked to him about it. He said he felt a lot more safe in the Shiv environment with the people around him than with all the magic people.
Yeah, filthy magic people. You should all stop playing magic and being degenerates and start playing Kill Team.
Yeah, be degenerates with us. And then Connor, your first game, you actually matched up with Jack. So that was a pretty tough matchup for you going into another Nemesis Claw team. We had 4 Nemesis Claw teams.
Yeah, there was a whole host of those Dirty Night Lords throughout the day. But yeah, first match was ITD into the wonderful Jack. She's a great opponent and a very good elite player, so it was very fun to be going up into that matchup. Unfortunately, came away with a loss for me. I think it was like a 21-16. It was something around that, like a 5-point swing. Unfortunately, my Sicarians just could not kill her leader. I'm blanking on what the actual Night Lord's leader is called, but they survived 3 Sicarians charging and fighting us through all the -1 dice in my pool, the free just to scratch as long as you have the Prescience token, and just having a 4/5 rending chainsword is a very good profile into a 10 health Sicarian.
Now, I have a question for you. I don't want to call Jack out on the play, but this is something that I figured out is that you have to use the Prescience token at the start of a fight. Now, if you were probably were you shooting into them or were you fighting them?
I was fighting them.
So the Prescience token actually gets used to discard at the start of the fight before like any dice are like figured out. Was that how it was working?
Oh, we were doing it after dice had been rolled, so we might have been playing that wrong if that's the case.
Well, yeah, so dice get rolled, and then she gets to say, Jack gets to say, okay, that dice is gone.
Oh yes, that is how we were playing it.
Perfect, because that's not how I understood it, and then somebody else had a question about it too. But and I know Tyler, you were playing it that way too.
Yeah, basically, you get to decide like after the roll if you're gonna discard one with the prescience tokens.
Yeah,
So
there was a question about somebody who was essentially using it as kind of a just a scratch, where they were saying like, "I hit, now I'm going to bump off your dice. Now I hit you again." And luckily, I was there and I was able to like be like, "Well, let's take a look at it." I did judging. I did judge stuff.
yeah, it's a little bit confusing on the wording. As long as you got going, okay, all these hits are incoming. You're going, okay, I'm just gonna knock off that one crit or that one hit that you have there, and we're gonna go from there.
So going into round two, Connor's 0-1, Tyler's 1-0. How'd you guys round twos go? Connor, who'd you match? You won round two. Good job, buddy. Who'd you match up with?
I matched up into Jerry with the Gellerpox on open.
Shout out to Jerry, by the way, podcast listener. Appreciate that. Also, Jerry had the best shirt. I need to get. I didn't get a picture of it, but Jerry had the AI seal of approval shirt, which is like a thumbs up and like 6 fingers on a hand. It was super good. Took me like 3 or 4 times to actually look at it and be like, oh, okay, I get it now. AI sucks.
Yeah, I was worried at first when I saw it. I was like, Jerry, don't tell me you're like a big AI art fan. But thankfully, that was not the case. It was a clever shirt. But it was a great matchup. I've never actually played Jerry, but I've always been in tables across from them type of situation. But it was a super good matchup. Came away for me by 2 points. I was able to just get one more primary and 6 out of my 6 secondaries, while they were only able to get 5 out of 6. But it was one of my first times fighting Gellerpox in quite a while, so it was spooky. But I was able to have a lot of terrain kind of to my favor and just block off the choke points to prevent them from getting their big scary Hulk guys, and I just shot everything else off the board.
I feel like Jerry's also. I don't feel like this is the first time Jerry's had like a really good shirt. I feel like I remember Jerry's shirt game from the tag team terror tournament.
He does have a good shirt game. Jerry is just a cool guy. Great local down here at Shiv Games. So I get to hang out with him weekly. So always a joy. So
You
lucky to
lucky
play
dog.
against him. Yeah.
And Tyler, you matched up round two into.
To Josh. So, and that was a rough match. It was Night Lords versus Vet Guard on loot, on open, on Octarius, and yeah, it was just it was too much to overcome. I played pretty aggressive to try to make that push because there wasn't really any way to keep my guys safe. He can just feed guys to get within 6 and turn off my in midnight clad, or I was going to end up grouped up and demo mined. So I made an early play and it didn't get I didn't pay off. I didn't get initiative turning point 2, and that was kind of the end of me there. So
Yeah, that's a rough one, especially that board. And Josh ended up actually being on that board all 4 games because he started on that board round one and then just kept winning. And it was I don't know, is it hamburger deployment? Is that what that is? Or is that, no, is that a hot dog deployment?
yeah, it's hot dog.
So hot dog, open board, Octarius stuff. And so that's a rough matchup because yeah, he was right up in you from what I saw when I was walking by.
I was hoping to push like really hard into his deployment early turning point 1 and throw him off guard. Josh is just too good of a player to do that. I should have known better. Maybe if I would have swapped around the models that were in engagement and stuff like that, it would have been a little bit better. But it is what it is.
And then Tyler, round 3, you ended up into Henry with Henry's Casterkin, and that looked like a very bloody match.
I mean, it definitely was an extremely bloody match. I ended up taking the win. I just pressed him a little bit too hard for him to be able to score a lot of his tac ops and stuff like that. It was extremely bloody. I think only my visionary was alive at the end, and I think he had one regular, like his comms trooper or something. Almost a clean wipe for both of us.
Yeah, I figured Casterkin into Night Lords, and when you don't have any the damage mitigation, or as much of the damage mitigation stuff at least too, that's going to be a pretty nasty matchup. But you came out with the victory in that one. And then Connor, actually, real quick, Connor, I want to go back to your game with Jerry, because one thing I was watching, I noticed, and I can't say anything because I was judging. I noticed that I think you were trying to save you're trying to save 3 dice, and you spent 2 CP right away to re-roll 2 dice at the same time rather than just spending like 1 CP re-rolling 1 and seeing it, because you needed both of them to make the guy live. And I wanted to say to you, and something I wanted to say to you was like, just spend 1 CP, re-roll it, and then if that one passes, then you can spend another one instead of spending like 2 at the same time and then just wasting them both, because you might have needed that down the road.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I kind of missed that late into the game. I think it was, though, at that point, turning point 4, and was at 3 command points to dropping to 1. I knew relatively I had won the game, so I was just going for the greedier play at that point. But that would have been smarter to just spend the 1 for 1 and see what that result is rather than doing the 2 for both.
Yeah, I just saw that, and I wanted to. I couldn't say anything at the time because I wasn't playing, but I wanted to bring that up to you because, every once in a while I have a good thought, and that was my good thought for the tournament. And Connor, what about your round 3?
Round 3, as it was into the lovely Mike. Mike is a fantastic opponent. They were bringing out Night Lords this time before I had fought them on their Hand of the Archon. And Mike, if you're listening, I am so sorry. Both the games I've played Mike, I'm starting to think he must think I have loaded dice, because there was about, in something like 3 dice rolls where, rolling 4 dice each, I think through rending, I had 11 out of those 12 dice end up as crits. But it was a solid victory for me. I adapted for my game with Jack, where I was like, okay, I think I know a little bit more about what I need to do as Hunterclade into Night Lords. Tried it out, and it worked significantly well. I think I came away with like a 22-14 victory.
Now I'm gonna set you up. I'm gonna give you a chance to ramble about the AdMech, and Tyler, feel free to step away for a little bit. You mentioned to me after a game with Jack that you were gonna switch up your models and how the models that you brought to the game.
Yes, that is correct. Most of the time into Elites, I believe that the best way to go is 5-5, which is 5 Skitarii, 5 Sicarians, which is the 5 Ruststalkers most of the time, because they are able to 1-for-1 a Marine very easily. However, Night Lords kind of really mess with that Sicarian math, because a lot of how they do that is through just a weight of dice. They're scary glass cannon models, but they only have 10 health, so it's a lot about just killing everything they touch, but knowing they're going to be at like 1 health afterwards. But with how Night Lords have so much dice manipulation, and you're rolling 1 less dice, your ballistic or weapon skills 1 worse, through damage mitigation, through the butcher equivalent type guy, and then just all the various things they have like that, I found that it wasn't working out in my favor of just being able to do the 1-for-1 anymore. So I tried the 7 Skitarii 4 Sicarian loadout, and that went much better, because a basic shock trooper with the upgraded bullets has a rending bolter, and since the Night Lords have no way of mitigating injury status, that bolter with rending becomes a lot more dangerous.
Tyler, hey, Tyler, he's done. You can come back.
No, okay, cool. Let's say no. I think that you're completely right. Depending on what Sicarians are running, also can make a huge difference. But not having rerolls is just really, really rough into them, especially when you count on them so much.
Yeah, very true. The Sicarians you need to bring are the 4-6 rending, because, like you said, since they turn off rerolls, the 4 or 5 balance profiles is bad, and all you can really do is hope to roll a 6. But if you don't have enough, if your dice are getting reduced from 5 to 4, that is a lot of gambling you're making on, especially if you're going from 5 to 4 dice and now your weapon skill is 4 up. That rending is not nearly as reliable anymore.
Absolutely. And you only get 4 attacks with your power swords, right?
That is correct. So yeah, the power swords on the infiltrators go from 4 dice to 3, which is just dog awful.
Yeah, absolutely. That's never going to happen. So unless you just get all crits, and they fluff their dice.
Yeah, so I think they're going to be the single Marine team. I'm going to have to, of course, get more test games into them. I think this was like my 3rd or 4th game into the Night Lords. I think they might be the single Marine team besides Warp Coven, but they're weird anyways, where you go 7 Skitarii, 4 Sicarians. They're a fun team, though. I liked playing into them. They're a very different Marine team, which is nice, because I was worried when they first announced them that there wasn't going to be enough to really differentiate them from like Legionaries or Phobos.
Tyler, I know you've had a lot of practice games against different opponents. After going into a tournament with Night Lords, what do you think about them now?
I think that they're a great team. I think they're really fun. They still hit hard limits that elite teams hit. especially on certain missions and certain maps. You're gonna have an incredibly difficult time against pathfinders, or vet guard. Blades of Cain could be another huge threat for the team. Banshees are incredibly deadly, into the Night Lords. So like there's a lot of potential counters to them. I think that they're a huge improvement in the overall elite game, and they're not game breaking by any means. They're just very good right now.
Do you think they need any kind of tuning to get into that? Like, I know that we've had Jimmy Kelly's won some tournaments with them. I mean, is there anything you think they need a little bit of special sauce to get them over the threshold for you?
I don't know. I think a lot of it is just match and map dependent. What you get is what you get, sometimes, and you can't really change that. You know.
Well, this was a 21 player. We had one player drop. It's going to be 22, but 21 player open and into the dark match tournament, and you set up the boards. So if you got a bad board, that's on you, buddy.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad board. It was just a board and mission that favored. If I would have had, say, capture or something else, it probably would have been a little bit better. Or if my dice cooperated just a little bit more, or his cooperated just a little bit less.
Yeah, was that the loss to Josh? Was that loot?
Yeah, it was. It was very, very difficult. It was a uphill battle from the very beginning.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I kept walking by and seeing a lot of vet guard and the Night Lords just kind of slowly being pushed off to the side. So that's a tough one, but
Yeah, they just have so many threats, so many bodies that they can push up into you and turn off your stuff, and make it hard for you to push onto objectives, and then body block you and stuff like that. Josh is a great player that knows his team too, and knows where to push them and things like that. So,
but I thought they got nerfed into Oblivion, Dakota. Nah, they're still good.
I don't think any 14 model team with that many threats, with 6 major threats, can be bad.
Unless you're making them all hit on like sixes, yeah, they're always going to be good just be through weight of bodies alone. And the Into the Breach ploy, I believe, the one where they just all essentially get a free dash, is incredibly powerful. They have some of the best mobility turn one of probably any team in the game, maybe even more than like the Corsairs at this point.
So that was the first 3 rounds. Unfortunately, Tyler did not make our top 8 cut, but Connor did. And Connor, you ended up playing into Sean and Sean's Pathfinders. Sean unfortunately took a loss in round 3 to Josh, but Sean had nothing but good things to say about your matchup with him. And I don't believe him because I've met you. I'm just kidding. I love you, buddy. But no, Sean was so complimentary about the game that y'all played together. And tell us a little bit about how that went.
Yeah, it was Pathfinders, which is a somewhat tough matchup for Hunter Clade. It's very map dependent on it. If it's Into the Dark, I think we edge out. If it's open, I believe they edge out. But it was now a loot, which sucks because if they go Kayun, they got free mission actions across the board, which is not great for us. Thankfully, he went Montka, but still Montka is, I get free dashes every activation for every guy, which is mobility I cannot keep up with. And Josh won Defender, and I kind of figured that was going to be a big factor as well. The map we played on had a vantage point overlooking like 2.5 objectives there. So he was able to get a very good line of defense and then had a brilliant barricade placement where he used the barricade to block off one of the Octarius vault doors, essentially, to make it a lot harder for me to maneuver through it, which really limited the ability of my Ruststalkers to get in. Because if they can get into melee, they'll just, obliterate every Pathfinder they see. But he played a very well defensive game of just marker letting the Sicarians or whoever was touching the point to loot it and just blowing them off the board, while I could only maybe kill 1 or 2 guys in response for every like 2 to 3 he killed. And we're equal number of bodies. I think he's got 1 more than me, but he was able to just outkill me, and it came to a score of something like 23 to 15. I don't remember, but he won pretty handily. It was a very fun game though, and Sean is an excellent opponent, and I definitely want to play more Pathfinders as well.
And Sean, if you're listening, we had a chat about this, but I still think you should take Pathfinders to Tacoma. I know I know there's some things that make you want to hold back on them, but you go and you win that golden ticket, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it. You or Josh.
As long as it's someone from KTC is all I want to see at the victor's table. Ideally, two KTC members duking it out, you know?
Well, I don't think Josh is going to be able to make Tacoma, unfortunately, but I know he'll be at Killscream with 2 belts because Josh ended up playing against Tony in the final round. It was Vet Guard versus Novitiates, and Josh came out with the win, and he's got 2 belts that are straining a shelf in his bedroom now, is what I heard. I'm going to have a chat with him later this week, and we're going to have him on the podcast next week so you can hear about his tournament journey. Our top 8, though, I feel like it was a pretty interesting top 8 for a Kill Team Cascadia tournament. We had Josh at number 1 at Vetguard, Sean Ross at number 2 with Pathfinders, Jack, she came in number 3 with Nemesis Claw, Tony ended up at 4 with Novitiates, Hunter with Mandrakes, number 5, and Shayla jumping up into the top 8 and like 3-1 with Nemesis Claw, and then Connor 7. Holly Graham also with Phobos at number 8. So I feel like we had a pretty interesting top 8, pretty diverse top 8 too.
Yeah, that's a healthy meta, is what that sounds like. So
I feel like it goes back to the Northwest Plays Elite meta thing too. I mean, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 elites, 3 elites in our top 8 there.
I mean, people just play elites, period. Like, people like Space Marines. You know, Nemesis Claw was the most picked in the recent stats, I believe. So what can you expect? Not just the Northwest, the whole world plays it. So
Plus, I think they're just a very fun team where, like Phobos, they have a lot of power on the board. But I think it's a little bit more of a straightforward, less having to really think every activation through. And the models just look sick. There's something fun about playing a model that can just charge in and kill everything. And having the ability to do that will definitely draw players to a Nemesis Claw team.
And then beyond the gaming on the table, part of the gaming on the table actually was we had our Kill Team Cascadia bounty board that we have. So if y'all haven't heard already, Kill Team Cascadia, you come to one of our events, you can, for $5, purchase a bounty token, which gets you a token as well as a raffle ticket. The bounty token you can place on an opponent's model, someone you're not playing, and then whoever kills that model, or if you retain that token the entire time, you keep that. The person who keeps the most tokens wins some prizes. Also, we do a raffle at the end too. And Jack actually had the most tokens with 10. So she got a nice prize. I think she picked up. Do you remember what box she picked, Tyler?
I want to say it was the Joy Toy.
She did. Yes,
Orc.
she took the Joy Toy Orc that we actually we picked up at a previous tournament. And then the part of that though that's really awesome is the fact that the money that we raise goes to charity. And we raised over $275 for the Trevor Project.
That's really cool. I think that puts us over $5,000 total that we've raised for charity as a community. Pretty close to, at least at this point.
Awesome thing too was that, like, even at the end when stuff was over, Hunter came up and donated $20 without getting the tokens or the raffle tickets, just to donate to the charity. I didn't play. I put $20 in. I think Cody put $35 in, something like that, because we also wanted to place the bounties on people too, which is super fun. But it's, our events, while we give out a lot of prizes, we also are trying to help other people too.
Yeah, that's the main goal. We reward our community. Everything that we do for our tournaments goes back into it for prize support. That prize support is used for the bounty board, for first, second, and third, sportsmanship, hobby, stuff like that. So we want to do good with our community, and I think we really are.
And if y'all don't know about the Trevor Project, it's the leading suicide prevention and crisis intervention nonprofit organization for LGBTQ plus young people. So we will actually put a link in the show notes if y'all would like to donate as well.
It's a super important charity, and it's something that we're very glad to be supportive of. We have multiple LGBT members of the community of that community in our community, and every one of them is a beloved member, and they're part of what makes KTC so absolutely awesome to be in, and just a very supportive and fun community to be a part of.
Tyler calls it aggressively inclusive.
Yeah, we are gay as fuck, really, as a club. It's very queer. in Kill Team Cascadia. If you have a problem with that, don't listen to our podcast and don't come to our events. And I'll say that again: if you have a problem with gay people, don't come to our events. Don't listen to our podcast. Don't interact at all. Without the trans and queer and gay members of our community, we wouldn't exist as a community. Some of our founders are members of that community. So, yeah, happy Pride Month, everyone. We love y'all.
Yeah, happy Pride. It's every time it comes around, I have like queer friends, and I want to make sure to all year long I want to celebrate and embrace them, but just even more this month. So, back to the tournament. Josh has 2 belts now. He's becoming kind of a monster. Like, he brought Breachers last time, he brought Vetguard this time. Like I said, we're going to talk to him next week and find out like what his secret sauce is. He's already got an invite to Killscream 3 because he won previously, but now he's got 2 invites. Tyler, does that mean he has to play 2 teams?
So there wasn't an invite up on this one because we didn't hit the cap we needed to for it. There was a big belt because we expected a little bit larger turnout, though. So I guess, when I scheduled this one, I didn't realize it was Father's Day weekend, which probably prevented some people from showing up.
Well, our small tournaments are still 20-player tournaments, which is pretty good for just
Yeah.
kind of a tournament in Kaiser, Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, what 20-player tournament is the winner walking away with over $300 in stuff? No one but ours. I think we give away more than any other tournament. Our prize table is larger. I think we have the most fun. Also, nothing personal to any other TO. That's just what we do up here.
Yeah, we gave away the belt itself was a sizable trophy, and Josh walked away with the new termination box too on release date, because this is the 3rd released box this year and the 3rd tournament we've had on the same day.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Our events are just timed like that. So who knows what'll happen for Killscream 3?
I mean, 3rd edition Kill Team, obviously, and we're not going to allow the rules for it though because it's launching on that day. But it'll be a fun day for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Games Workshop, if you're listening to this and you are planning on releasing the 3rd edition on Killscream 3, you should give us boxes to give away to people.
That would be sweet. Let us do it, please. We'd love to do that.
Now, one of my favorite parts about going to tournaments is just like bonding with people. I got to talk to, we had a couple of people that had buys because we had an odd number of people. So I talked to Henry for a while. I got to talk to Kevin for a while. I got to float around and talk to people about games. And I was watching Connor and Sean's game. And Tyler, I have a question for you. So you and I were a little older gentlemen. Do you have gray hair?
Oh, absolutely.
Me too. Like, so I'm getting that salt and pepper beard. I got a little bit of like pieces here and there. And Connor, you shared that you're getting gray hair tue.
Yeah, on my sideburns and nowhere else, Chuck.
That's so. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Yesterday was a long day, so I'm misremembering because I could have swore that you were saying something other areas that you had gray hair, something like gray bush or something. I'm trying to remember.
I hate you so much. All I said was that I found. No, we're not doing it. We're not doing this. No.
It's all the worrying he does after I slept over at his mom's. That'll do it to any man.
I can't wait to die sometimes.
Man, I feel that every day.
I mean, you tried. You left your insulin down in Shiv, and then it's probably Sierra that was like, "Go get your insulin, Connor. It's not today."
No, I realized that when I got home Saturday because I normally have it like I said in my backpack, but I put it in the fridge, and despite setting a reminder on my phone, just completely forgot. But bright side, I'm okay now. We got it. Thank you again, Jeff. You're a hero. And we got Slinger Burgers yesterday. I finally was able to join in on that, which probably was distracting me because I was so excited to go try these burgers, and they were worth the mistake I did. They are delicious.
They're so good. They're so good. If you if you come to one of our tournaments in Kaiser specifically, afterwards we go out for dinner. at this little spot that has just the most incredible burgers. And then there's a really cool bar that's right there also, so you get to get a burger at this local food cart that does like handmade sourdough buns every day, and they do have veggie options, Chuck. So no excuse for not coming next time.
Well,
And then
I had to go to my mom's because Connor's was too far away.
I believe that was the final thing you said as we were leaving Shiv, and there was a loud "fuck you" that echoed throughout the building from someone that said
Connor, Tyler, you okay? You okay, buddy? Yeah, Tyler had to mute his mic because
I thought I muted my mic. I'm sorry, I was dying.
No, that's good. I'm glad we got that in.
No, I did want to go, but my mother, who used to live in Salem Kaiser area, moved a little farther south in a new house, and I wanted to check that out. And she had a nice Papa Murphy's pizza waiting for me there, a little veggie pizza. I do want to try the burgers though, because the one time I did go out, Slangers was closed, but F Stops Fitzgerald's, which is the bar, it's like a bar in a house. Amazing atmosphere. Loved it. Connor, what kind of burger did you get? You get anything good?
I just got the Slinger itself, is what I believe it was called. Super delicious. The melted cheese was really fun. The buns, like Tyler said, were delicious. And their fry sauce, which is like not something you often really talk about, but the fry sauce was surprisingly good, it's a fun little accessory. And I'm glad anytime I go somewhere and they have like really good fry sauce, because I'm a big fry guy more than like burgers even.
Yeah, who doesn't love a good fry sauce? Oh man, that comment caught me off guard and gave me an asthma attack.
I'm sorry.
It was worth it. So.
I'm glad I could clear all that out for you.
Oh man, Slingers is great. If you go, you get the original Slinger. Unless you're a vegetarian, then you don't. And who doesn't love fry sauce? Honestly, good fry sauce makes the fries.
And one thing too, I think we've said it before, but Shiv Games is like chef's kiss place to play. The tables are huge. They're tall. They have stools at all of them too. Also, like some of the best selection of Warhammer stuff that y'all find. Like you just go in, it's aisles and aisles of Warhammer stuff. Great prices, no sales tax. Also in Oregon too.
That it's not just Warhammer stuff too. It's all kinds of mini games. It's all mini games, front to back. There, no board games, no card games, just war games, skirmish games, miniature games.
Yeah, they have a fantastic selection. I saw some Fallout minis, which tempted me. If it was a little bit less tight on finances, I probably would have grabbed one of everything, because I've been eyeing those for a while now, and it was a fun selection. But like Chuck said, no sales tax. And for any of us that aren't lucky enough to be Chuck, that live in Vancouver but can shop easily in Oregon without that, it is a godsend, because they're already 15% off. So then without the sales tax on top of it, whether it's be something that's like $100 in Washington, ends up being like 70 down there. So I love going to Shiv and being a courier for everyone in Washington that can't make it, and just picking stuff up for them.
Are you admitting to tax evasion on our podcast, gentlemen? You'd never do that, right?
I mean, I didn't say I bought anything. I just said they don't have sales tax. I pay my Washington sales tax. I buy things in Oregon, and then I pay the state of Washington for it. Connor, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're supposed to do according to Washington tax code. You wouldn't be carrying products across state lines without taxation, would you?
I mean, plastic crack is drugs still.
Yeah, this is
I'm a
hard
criminal then.
drugs.
My bad.
15 years minimum.
Oops.
If there was one of the three of us that I would suspect being a criminal for like white collar crime, it'd probably be Connor.
I have watched a lot of
white
that
collar
show.
crime, definitely. Not white collar crime. It's gonna be me. Like if you looked at the three of us in a photo.
Yeah, Tyler knows where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't know where the bodies are buried. I don't know about any bodies. I've never heard about any bodies.
We were talking about it before. Oh, my bad.
I don't get it.
So the joke is that Tyler is saying that he doesn't know where the bodies are buried, and I was insinuating that Tyler had told me before the podcast that he told me where the bodies were buried, but then I like cut it off in the middle, so it sounds like
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I can't talk about that. That's what the joke is.
Oh, okay, got it. I'm gonna write that down in the
Yeah,
joke
I'll
book.
draw you a picture.
Thanks, appreciate it.
It'll be in crayon. You'll understand it.
Rude. Actually, speaking of crayons, there was the brunch spot we stopped in after going to Shiv was very fun. Bricks. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Bricks Tavern. Really good, delicious food. But we were talking about how it's kind of unfair that there's not more crayons in restaurants anymore.
Because you want to color, or
Because I want to eat them. They're delicious, Chuck.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I actually had
That
a.
was about the one highlight of the trip home.
I should have brought you some crayons because I went to my nephew's like 5th birthday party, and they had he loves maps. The kid can sit down and tell you like I can't do this, and the adults around me could not do this either. But he can take a map of the U.S. and tell you exactly what every state is. It gets kind of weird in like the Midwest and kind of some of the pieces of the South. Like West is fine, but also can tell you the capitals of all of them too. And myself and the other adults that were around there were failing at it. But he had a map themed party, and they had a bunch of extra crayons. If I would have known, I mean, I should have figured because your age, I should have grabbed some extra ones for you, bud.
I hate that I relate so much to this child right now. I could probably still name like every state capital and do the map quiz and probably draw you a U.S. map. I was really into maps as a kid.
Have you seen that guy on like the internet,
Yes,
TikTok,
yes,
that does
yes.
like that does he
Love
like
it.
there's like a photo and he's like, "Oh, you're on this street right here at this mile marker." And you're like, "What the fuck is going
He's
on?"
in like I've seen an image of him. He's like the geoguesser guy. I've seen an image of
Yeah.
him like the 4 people that like could be evil masterminds but aren't.
The dude's totally a Fed. No way he's not a fucking
I
Fed. He's
I
like
hope he's
he's
monetizing this.
freelancing for a Fed.
I do like that he at least uses his powers for good because though I often see on Twitter and stuff people like tag him being like, "Hey, this is like a thing my like now deceased parent like a picture from when they were really young. Any idea where it is?" And it's like a picture of their parent like at a beach or at a park or something, and he's generally able to figure it out within like the day, which is that's a really cool thing to do. So
Trevor Rainbolt. That's his name. What a fucking name too. Trevor
is this
Rainbolt.
wait Rainbow is really his last name? I thought that was just like his tag online or
I
something.
mean, that's what it says on Wikipedia. Yeah.
Fake names, I mean, like if I was ever gonna be famous and successful, I'd pick a stage name too, something powerful for a last name.
Yeah. I mean, Trevor Rainbolt. I don't know if that's his last name, but yeah, no, that guy like I guess he only started during COVID too. It looks like playing for 4 or 5 hours a day. Okay, all right.
Yeah, those work from home people during COVID, essential workers of the world unite.
Yeah, because got to like take a picture that somebody posted on their Instagram and then find them, and then drone strikes.
That's less fun than finding someone's photo of them as a young adult or something.
Yeah, like he's not the only one who does that, like that well. Like so, yeah, that's the reality of that shit. Scary as fuck.
Yeah, it's impressive when he uses it for fun things though, because and actually have you guys ever watched the videos of people that like they there's like a speed competition. It's GeoGuessr competitions where they like show them a picture and they have to like dial it in, and they within like 5 seconds they're within like 20 miles of it.
I have seen clips of that. Me and my friends have sometimes done that because it's like just a fun little game to do when we can't think of anything else. There's various websites you can go and
That's the feds.
oh,
That's a honeypot. Like that's the feds recruiting for people. They're like, who's good at this? Oh, you're the number one geoguesser in the world. Guess what? You're geoguessing for us now.
well, thankfully none of us are that good at it unless we can find like a flag or a street name that can kind of give us the general idea.
I mean, I'm really good at like finding pictures in my phone of stuff that I've like taken pictures of, but beyond that, like, no, I'm good. This is why we know Connor's not a Fed, because he hasn't been recruited for this.
I just work for the government, but I wouldn't want to be a Fed. There's I could sell my soul to like maybe grifts for like old people if they're like awful old people, but I couldn't do it for the government. They don't pay enough for that yet.
So wait, you saying you could scam old people is what you're saying?
If they were like racist old people, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. They're gonna donate that money to racist politicians or some shit.
Tyler
Give it to me instead so I can buy Kill Team stuff.
Tyler and I were just talking about this earlier, actually, too, about how, like, how people get taken advantage of. And I was like, man, there's like a lot of like people with young voices and gray bush that like take advantage of my customers and my work.
I wouldn't take fuck you, first of all. Second of all, I don't do it yet. That'd be like if I fell on real rough times and had to start scamming racist old people.
Connor's the one posting all of those AI Jesus memes on Facebook.
Oh my
He's
God.
individually responsible for all of them.
No, I don't have that in me. I hate those images so much where it's like Jesus holding a bunch of Marines and the Marines all have like 9 arms or some shit.
It's like the kid from
That's
Africa
what the
with the
person who makes us
bottles.
would say. Yeah. It's so good. Like, it's so good. Like, Jesus made out of like limes or something by a child in Africa, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
You mean that's not actually happening? I shared those. That's probably where you saw them.
Yeah, 10,000 reposts, to resurrect Jesus as limes.
I'd repost it if he came back as limes. That'd be kind of fun.
I would.
Veggie Tales would finally make sense.
I'm not gonna. No, not lime Jesus. Lemon lime Jesus. I'd do lemon lime Jesus.
Have you guys tried that new Sprite, the new cherry lime Sprite?
I thought Sprite was canceled. I thought there was a new hotness in the lemon lime game.
What, Starry?
Starry, but that replaced Sierra Mist.
Yeah. But no, the lemon lime, you got to try the new cherry one. It is so fucking
now
good.
I'm just gonna like clip that though, and I'm gonna clip the replace Sierra portion, and then blackmail Connor with it.
I'll just show her this clip. I've talked to her about how it replaced because I sent her a thing about like
talking in
when they
you're just yeah.
Absolutely. You got him panicking.
I hate you. I hate you all. No, I sent her a meme about how I was sad because it said there was something that said Sierra Mist canceled, and I just removed the word mist from it. I said, "What did you do?" So
that's pretty solid, actually. I like that.
Yeah, it was a good one. She thought it was kind of clever, and I felt smart.
Yeah, but again, like I'm clipping this, deliver my plastic, and make it timely. Okay, you did good this weekend, but there was only 2 models. There's supposed to be 3.
There was not. You made me feel so scared when you did that, you fucking asshole.
So Tyler, buddy Connor, I think did you go out of your way to go to Brandon's house, just like a special trip?
No, thankfully it's on the way, but we like pulled off to the side of the highway and met up at a gas station like we were dealing actual crack instead of plastic crack.
So Brandon the Bean hooked me up with a Megas and a Keller Morph, and Connor was nice enough to stop by and pick those up. And Connor sends me a picture on Discord, and he's like, "Got him!" And then, like, I'm like, "Where's the third one?" He's like, "Oh, what?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm kidding, buddy."
It was very rude.
Connor, you give off a big gullible energy, and I mean that in the nicest way possible.
That's totally fair, because I was just blown away. I was like, God damn it, this couldn't be happening. We had just pulled away when I sent the photo, so I was like, come on.
Tell you, like the little brother I've never had.
I appreciate that. That at least feels kind of nice as someone that was always the older brother.
Yeah, definitely little brother vibes to me too. So
yeah, I told him I was going to give him a swirly this weekend.
Is that something like people his age even know about?
I did get one in middle school.
Wait, you actually got a swirly?
Yes.
You fucking nerd.
I was, okay? No, that one actually did happen. That one wasn't so fun. I did get thrown in a dumpster, but that was for like our broadcast class where we were doing like a, hey, don't be bullying people video. So that one was okay, but the swirly was not.
The swirly, it was like a legit swirly?
Yeah, where they put your head in the toilet.
I'm so sorry, my friend. No one deserves that. I'm sorry that I'm laughing.
No, it's honestly very funny now. The guy that did it and me actually kind of became like friends like the next year and he apologized for it, but it was not a great time.
And now Connor's using his talents to send his location to the CIA and take that boy down.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see that China recently premiered like a new drone? They were like, we got the best drone in the United States. Is like, check out our drone swarm. We will invade you with 50,000 drones.
Yeah, I mean, what's their drone?
That's what all those Amazon drones are for.
We've got like, they're doing like drone like displays where they have like 1,000 drones that go up and like go up in the air and like spell out stuff and make it look like fireworks now. Like what's going to be more impressive than that? Ukraine is like destroying Russia with drones.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you think that it's that we don't have the most advanced drones, you're fucking crazy. That's personally like all the UFO stuff. Every time that comes out, they're like new evidence of UFOs. It's actually just a high tech drone that got spotted.
Well, I'm glad that our hard-earned taxpayer money is going to autonomous killing machines.
Hey,
Yeah,
and a little bit goes to me, so thank you, tax money.
That's true.
occasionally, me too.
I paid extra taxes this year, but I do use stuff like roads, so it's still going to me.
Hmm. Yeah. Did you know that they trust me to go work on the senators' computers?
Which senator?
I can't
I
state
guess
that.
if you're just, are you? I mean, Salem Kaiser area, it's probably like all of the senators in the Capitol. And now Connor's sending your location to the CIA.
No, but I think we're gonna have to delete the past 5 minutes of the podcast and say there was a clerical error or some shit. Otherwise, we're gonna end up on some more lists. We already talked about 9/11 and Call of Duty.
Have you guys ever Freedom of Information Acted yourself?
No, actually, oh, maybe we should do that for the, maybe we should do it for the podcast. Actually,
I've already done it for both of you.
have
So
you?
no, that would be fucking psychotic. But no, Freedom of Information Act about myself. I'm always kind of
I mean,
worried,
I was a
you
little
know.
charmed at the for a moment. It wasn't like weird. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
I feel like if he did, Tyler would warn us like, "Hey, they know about this, so you should cut it out," type of deal.
I mean, Tyler's told me like, hey, they know about this stuff a couple times, and I'm like, yeah, don't kink
I
shame
mean,
me.
they probably know about us. And recently, I had to replace my phone because my flashlight wouldn't work. Okay, and like the flashlight on my phone wouldn't work because the camera was always in use, but there was no app running.
Well, that's just your OnlyFans. So I mean,
Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, like you're right. I did have that 24/7 live streaming of me going.
it was worth all of the money I paid for it. You said I could get it for free, but no, I'm not. I'm going to pay for good content.
Like the first 10 minutes is free. After that, pay by the minute, baby.
Well, after the first 10 minutes, there was no action, so that was the weird part. All right, so we played a tournament this weekend, gentlemen. Let's recap the overall tournament. Trevor, or myself, Tyler let me spread my wings a little bit more into tournament organizing. Still appreciate you being there, buddy, and doing the major stuff. But it was really smoothly run. Fabi, Cody, and then Matt, our head judge there, did an amazing job. Also, Kevin helped set up the night before, helped tear down that day too.
Sean also can't forget him.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it takes a village. So,
Absolutely.
gentlemen, do you have any closing thoughts on the tournament itself?
It was a great time. It was like fun and competitive. Just cool to see the skill level go up. Each time we have an event, I feel like people are playing better and tighter, and just I see new expressions of skill from more and more players.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a welcoming environment too, because I know we had players like I think Cameron was there, and Cameron hadn't played since Killscream sounds like, and got a couple good games in, and then we had people that were like bleeding edge top table stuff too. So we had like a full range, and seemed like everybody had a good time. I don't think anybody didn't enjoy their time there, including the myself and the people that were helping out. Connor, what about you?
It was my first tournament properly playing in one in like 2 months, and it was good. I warmed back up. I haven't played as much Kill Team as I would have liked in the last couple of weeks, so it was fun. Thank you again as well to Matt, it's first time TOing, which was awesome, but also give me a ride down. So and ride back. So thanks to Matt and Ian. They were good drivers and company on the way there.
Yeah, and thank you again, Tyler, for being the cytoplasm that brings this whole community together. You, as well as Eric and Greg, started this, and we wouldn't be here without y'all.
I'm happy to do it. I do this as much for personal reason as for y'all, if I'm being honest. It definitely helps me deal with feelings of like loneliness and stuff like that I was feeling before this group started. So thank you all for being here. The support that the community has shown me and Eric and Greg and Chuck and everyone else is really incredible. It's all really like possible because of everyone else. We just we pointed ourselves in a direction, and you guys got behind it and said we want to support this, and so it means a lot. I know it means a lot to me personally, but to everyone here at Kill Team Cascadia and Vox Cascadia and all the other stuff we do.
Well, I'm glad y'all brought me in to be a part of it because, like, I echo everything you said. And I think there's also a lot of things that people don't see behind the scenes in the Discord where, people are having bad days, people have stuff going on, and there's a community that wraps their arms around them. So if you're not part of that community, killteamcascadia.com, come and join us. Thank you so much again for Shiv Games down in Kaiser. We'll put that link in the description. Hey, Jeff, you should give us like an affiliate link so we can help fund this crazy thing. I'll also put the Trevor Project in there too. And then, gentlemen, where can we find you?
You can find me at Lowbrow Minis on Instagram or dicethrower.bigcartel.com. We are coming up on the last, just a little over a week, 2 weeks to order shirts for the All Our Bites Are Bastards, and then the Pride shirts, and then the Cat shirts. You need to get your orders in soon because we're getting those orders out before Tacoma.
And then at Spanaway on everything for Connor, and then at Vox_Cascadia. Connor, you gonna? I'm looking for 3 posts this week. Can we hit that 3 post goal?
I think we could. We'll have, of course, the announcement for this one. We'll probably do either a tournament recap one or just showing off the prize table because those are always fun. Maybe the prize table will be in the.
Why are you telling us what you're gonna do, man?
Yeah, and then if you want to see the other 2, you gotta go subscribe right now to Vox_Cascadia.
Yeah.
5 posts, man. Come on.
Okay.
Yep. All right, it's 5 now.
I'm gonna do 5 posts, okay? So you can do 5 posts.
But you're very good at having a ton of cool shit to post.
Why are you running our social media then? What the fuck?
Okay, you know what?
Come on, man. Like, we have an entire Discord we can pull from. Just send DMs and shit.
That's fair. I'll start getting on that, lads. Don't worry.
Just stop sliding into people's DMs, okay?
I hate you.
First you cancel Sierra, now you're sliding into people's DMs. What is going on, buddy? And then I am at Pain and Cave Minis on Instagram. I will post once. I will give a single post.
I saw you posted last week, man.
Yeah, you had 2 in a week, so I don't want to hear anything from you, Chuck, about me not posting enough. You're like a once a month rarity.
Yeah, but I'm not the one running our Instagram account.
Yeah, you got me there.
No, it's good. Follow us everywhere. Buy our stuff. Come to our events. Buy your Killscream 3 ticket because it's going to be the craziest Kill Team event you've ever seen. And thanks for listening to us. We really appreciate you. And we appreciate our whole community, even if you don't listen to us.
I mean, the ones that don't listen to us not as much because they won't hear this. No, we do. We really do. And CascadiaTabletop.com is where you can find the tickets for Killscream 3. It's a couple.
Don't judge the website, please. It's like the information on the main site not accurate. Go to the events. Go to our Discord.
We just need to sell it like as a retro site because, like, we're doing it in a mall. It's like, this is like peak mall website for now.
The information is not up to date, so don't trust the information on there other than the ticket section. Okay, tickets you can buy if you find your way to the other tickets that are available, because there is one other one. You can certainly buy those too. But Killscream 3 is the main thing. And if you can't find it, go to my Discord, or not my Discord, my Instagram. It's got the proper link there.
And I know Killscream is a few months out, but if you could, as soon as you get your ticket, please get it, because it helps us to put more stuff into the event too, because this is a bigger event than we've ever done before, and we had to fund the event. So the more you buy, the more we can do.
Yeah, exactly. Everything we do goes back into the community, one way or the other. This is definitely not a profit endeavor. Maybe someday we'll be able to buy like dinner for all of us at the end of something. That'll be cool. But for now, we just want to see the community thrive and have y'all have a great time. So buy tickets so we can get more stuff, more stickers, more swag, do more cool stuff at our events.
And also, thank you again for listening. If you could do that, like all the influencer stuff, like share, all that. Give us a review because we want to boost the podcast. We like talking to y'all, and we like bullshitting and talking shit about Connor, and so we want more people to hear that because I feel like there's more people that need to hear the gospel of talking shit about Connor.
You know what? I'm just happy to be popular somewhat on the internet, so I'll take it.
Yeah, there's a whole Reddit that maybe someday you'll find that I've created that about your popularity, buddy. So
I appreciate it, Chuck. Thanks for being my number one fan.
Do you know who's really popular on the
No.
internet? My mom.
Oh, okay.
it's
It's Connor's mom. Actually.
No, it's not.